Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Champion's Journey, the podcast that brings to you the inspiring tales of individuals who have made a mark in the world of business and beyond. I'm your host, Raman Dua, and today we are going to dive into the remarkable journey of Raman Dua, the CEO of SafeMax Real Estate. Raman Dua, a visionary leader and a force to be reckoned within the real estate industry. His story is not just about professional success, but also about resilience, determination, and the pursuit of excellence. As the CEO of SafeMax, Raman has taken the company to new heights, transforming it into one of the fastest growing real estate brokerages in Canada. What's most interesting is that Raman Dua started his company in 2010, and today it has more than 75 branches across the globe and more than 1,250 real estate agents working for the company. In this episode, we'll explore Raman's early challenges, the pivotal moments that shaped his career, and the strategies he employed to overcome obstacles on his path to success. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a real estate enthusiast, or simply someone seeking inspiration, Raman Dua's story is sure to captivate you. So join us today for this exciting episode as we explore the life, career, and vision of Raman Dua, the CEO of SafeMax Real Estate. You won't want to miss this inspiring journey of resilience, ambition, and triumph. So Mr. Dua, take us back into your childhood. Who was Raman Dua as a child, and how did he evolve into the Raman Dua he is today?
So I would say one of the most notorious kid in the class. Okay. And I really was a fun-loving kid. Used to do a lot of things which a normal child won't do. To be very frank, especially when I talk about in my class, I used to tease a lot to the teachers and all this stuff. And as we grow in the life, it keeps giving you good lessons. So I think if I have to describe myself as a child, I would say fun-loving kid.
Fun-loving kid. But, mostly fun-loving kids are not so good at study. So was that the case in your case?
That was not the case in my case. I was very good at studies, but I was very bad in terms of sitting to study.
Okay.
Right? Okay. My concentration was 15 minutes. But the good part about me was, if I have read something once, it's there.
It's stuck to your mind.
Yes. Okay. So until my grade 9 or 10, I was 90 plus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. You're in real estate now, right? So tell us, was becoming a realtor always your dream?
Never. I never thought that I will be into the real estate profession. Because when I was back home in India, I did my post-graduation, and at that time I just wanted to go and work in some marketing company or some into that particular field, but I never thought of real estate.
Oh, really? Okay, what did you want to become?
So I wanted to become a doctor at one point of time.
Doctor, okay.
Yes. Okay. Until grade 10, everybody in the family was everybody was confident that I will definitely go and pass that PMT. Okay. But that could never happen because, in grade 11 or 12, I went to some wrong direction. Oh, okay. So I lost my track on the studies. Okay. Right? Okay. But after that it was, let's do something at least. So I just wanted to find a good job.
Okay. So find a good job. So your journey in real estate started in Canada, or were you doing a bit of it in India also?
It actually started in Canada.
Okay, so before that, you never thought about doing real estate and never invested in real estate?
Never. Okay. But my dad was into that profession back home in India.
Okay.
Right?
So he used to invest, or was he also a realtor?
No, he was also a realtor in India.
He was a realtor.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can say it was somewhere in the blood, hidden.
Right.
But it came out when I was in Canada.
Okay. So do you think he played a role in helping you establish as a realtor?
Not really, but I think it was a moral support. But he never guided me to come into this field, or he never advised me to come into this field. Okay. But I personally believe, as far as the business, as far as the entrepreneurship was concerned, that somehow I feel was in my blood, because I started working with my dad, in our small business. It was not something very big business. It was the milk booth, right? So I was contributing over there when I was in grade 10. Okay. So, that mindset started developing from there.
Okay. So when you came to Canada, you knew that you wanted to do business, right? You did.
That part I was very much clear in my life. So When I did my graduation and the post graduation, like when I did my MBA, so it was always on the hindset that I have to do something of my own.
Okay.
Right? But of course, like, I started with the job over there. I started with the job in Canada as well. But job was never for me. I never enjoyed it.
You never enjoyed it.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So, out of all the professions, why did you choose real estate?
That's very interesting. I personally believe real estate is one of the best profession in the world.
Okay.
And doing real estate in Canada is icing on the cake. I'll tell you why. Because, somewhere, somehow I read at a lot of places, any millionaire or billionaire, they are at that position because of real estate, one way or the other.
Okay.
So that real estate itself was stuck up in my mind somewhere. If I wouldn't have been a realtor, I would have been a big investor.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I always wanted to be in the real estate field one way or the other. And luckily, it became my profession.
Did you always want to become this big, or this just happened as a result of doing something right?
A lot of time people talk about it. People say, you know what, we should plan our success. There was nothing like that with me. All this success came, I never planned for anything.
Okay.
I'm the most unplanned person on this planet.
Okay. Okay.
But one thing I always believed in my life, I always drove myself with my gut. So whatever came in front of me as an opportunity, I tried to grab it.
Okay.
Right? I always tried to work on any idea, whatever I thought in my mind. And I think you can never plan success.
So if you cannot plan success, what is it about goal setting then? People say that you have to have goals for 10 years down the line, and then you have to break them down to the minutes, right? What's that? It's very contradictory, right? What you said is very contradictory.
Yes. Man propose, God dispose. See, setting the goals has nothing to do with the planning.
Okay.
Right? See, success has its own, everybody's definition of success is something different. When you are setting your goal, it is not about your planning success. It is about, it's something very quantitative which you want to measure.
Right.
Right? So let's say if I kept a goal for myself, like I'm going to make $1 million in 2 years. But is that the real definition of success for me? Maybe not.
No.
That is my financial achievement which I planned. But that is not the success which I planned. So I personally believe success and setting up the goals, setting up the long-term, short-term, and the medium-term goals is altogether different.
Right.
That is related to your business, that is related to your financial growth, but that is not related to your success. Success is all about having an internal satisfaction of doing something.
Absolutely.
Having a happy ending of anything.
That's right. But the thing is, most people do not have a sense of direction, right? So, especially people who graduate from high school, they don't know what subject to choose or what line of business to choose.
Right.
So for them, what would your advice be? Because what you're saying is like, just go with the flow and you will find something that you like. Would you say that you got lucky, that you found your calling in real estate, or that's the way to go for anyone?
I don't use the word lucky. I was blessed.
You were blessed. Okay.
Right? And it happens with everybody. All of us, we are born blessed. The problem is people don't understand the calling. So if you are going on a journey, you will always find a direction. You will always find a calling to yourself. There is nothing wrong to go and explore and take advice from people. But when it comes to make a final decision, you should go and listen to your gut. Your gut is never gonna misguide you. It's always gonna give you the right direction. And if you follow your own inner self, this is what my personal belief is. And I always worked on to that.
Right.
Any big project, any big decision, or anything, whatever I did in my life, which was really big, it was only 30 seconds decision.
Okay.
Only 30 seconds.
Very quick. Okay.
Without doing too much calculation, because sometimes we do paralysis of analysis.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
And that always weaken your decision.
Right.
And going ahead in the life all depends upon how quick you are in decision making.
Quick you are in decision making.
So every entrepreneur gets that calling, every entrepreneur gets that direction, But it all depends. Either we identify it or we don't identify it.
That's so related to the video I just posted yesterday, right? So what I said in the video was a plane, when it takes off, it has to be at a speed of 240 to 285 kilometers per hour,
Yeah.
right? So that speed is necessary for the plane to take off, right? If you're not making quick decisions, you're not making mistakes fast, you're not getting things done faster, right? So that is where I think speed is of utmost importance if you want to gain a lot of success in life, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. I've heard your story. You came here as an ordinary man, right? You started from the bottom. When did you realize enough was enough? You put your foot down and said, you know what? No more a life of mediocrity.
Right.
I'm not going to live this life. I want more success than this.
Right.
When was it?
That was pretty much from my childhood.
Okay.
I always kept telling me I don't want to be a mediocre in my life.
Okay.
Either it was studies
Okay.
or it was anything, like even anything wrong which I'm doing. I always wanted to be best in that. You got what I mean? And but these are different stages of life. So at one point of time it was study, where I never thought of becoming a mediocre. At one point of time it was the bad things in my life.
Okay.
I always wanted to be on top.
Okay.
There as well.
Good at doing bad things.
Good at doing bad things. Absolutely. So somehow I personally believe I was born with that attitude.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I'm
Right,
talking
right,
about
right.
myself.
Of course.
So that's what Raman is.
So okay. So what you're saying is it was a habit that you had right from your childhood.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. So you got your real estate license in 2006. And you founded your company in 2010. So when you entered real estate, so you entered as a layman with not much knowledge about the Canadian real estate industry, and you saw people around you who were just selling houses, right, for the sake of it, but you decided to go a step ahead and form a company.
Yeah.
So would you attribute that success to a series of lucky events, or was it a lot of hard work put into it?
I would say it was a combination of both. Of course, there was a lot of thought process, especially when I started my real estate career. I got my license in 2006. 2007, I started practicing.
Right.
And in the first month, I did 4 deals. But I was observing. I'm very observant person. I always keeps my eyes, ears, nose open.
Right.
So I was very observant, and I was observing the real estate industry. What is the problem? Why people are realtors after 20 years?
Okay.
And I said, same thing is going to happen to me. Now I am born as a realtor, but am I going to die as a realtor as well? And I said, no. I will be different than the crowd.
Okay.
Right? And I started observing, I started understanding the challenges of the industry, and I started putting up the solutions to that. So the first solution was when we launched this 999 model.
Okay.
List your house for 999. The challenge of the industry was a lot of sellers, they did not like these bigger brands taking a lot of money as a commission.
Right.
And if somebody was charging less commission, they were not giving good service. So I thought there's a big vacuum there. So I came up with this idea that, let's work on volumes. Let's give the best services to the clients at a reasonable price. And that worked very well. Another challenge which I understood in the industry, it was running on a very flat model.
Okay.
Realtor and the brokerage. There was nothing in between.
Okay.
And brokerage never wanted to grow their realtor. So I find that big vacuum there. I worked on that vacuum, and I started developing teams, started growing people, and today we reached at a level where SaveMax model is the role model in the industry,
Okay.
in the real estate.
Okay.
So as you asked the question, was it hard work, was it destined, or it was just like a matter of chance or luck? I would say it was combination of everything. And I always personally believe your luck is going to work only when you put hard work to it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
So I was lucky, and I made my luck better by putting my hard work onto it.
Great. So, okay. So people see you as a finished product today, right? Raman Dua, a successful brand in real estate. So what did this finished product look like when he was raw?
Coal mine. Coal in the mine, I would say.
Okay.
So, and that is the truth of life. I was very rough. I was very aggressive. And, lot many other bad things, which if I think about those things today, I think those bad qualities were good qualities.
Okay.
Right? Like I was ignorant. I was very daring. My decision makings were like anything. I was very aggressive.
Okay.
But with the time, I learned that, you know what, you need to have somebody who can actually work on that raw product and can finish it. It's like taking up a coal and putting it into a diamond shape, giving it like, those cuts and, those, I would say, getting the real shine out of it, right? Polishing it. So some of it was my friends, my family, my dad especially, and a lot of the part of the polishing was done by the books.
Okay, so you're into reading a lot of books?
A lot of books.
Okay.
And experiences of life. Because you know what? They are your best teachers.
Absolutely.
These two are the best mentors of life.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. When did you get into the habit of reading books?
Reading books, that was, as I told you, my sitting capacity was only 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay.
So what happened, almost...
Any book? Or I thought it was just history books? Or
it was more of the study books, to be very frank. Okay. But I get into the reading habit like almost, I would say, 5 years before, when one of my colleagues, his name is Siddak, he actually brought me a gift, a book as a gift on my birthday.
And what was that?
It was Many Lives, Many Masters, written by Brian Weiss. Okay. It was all about like reincarnation and all this stuff. Okay. That book was so interesting. I actually went on and I finished that book in a couple of days. Wow. And then I realized that, wow, I like reading books.
I can read more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, and then I kept a target for myself that I'm going to finish 12 books in that particular year. Okay. So I finished 15. Next year, I took that target to 50.
50 books?
Yes.
Okay.
So now, I normally go around somewhere 40 to 50 books in a year.
40 to 50 books.
Yeah. And of lately I started realizing, what I like. So I like reading about autobiographies, biographies, and, the success stories and the failure stories of entrepreneurs, all those books. And of lately I started reading something like kind of spiritual books as well. Wow. Sadhguru, Osho. Okay. Then, I read Gita like 5 times. Wow. Right, I read various versions of Gita. Okay. Then I read Bible. Now I'm actually listening to whole Quran, and then I'm gonna start reading it. Wow. Right, and then I'm gonna go to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, because these are wonderful, like I would say, ocean of knowledge.
Absolutely.
Right,
Absolutely.
by those who have experienced life from a different angle.
Oh, yes. Right.
So what are their teachings? So what we try to do, we try to take those teachings through the interpretation of others.
Absolutely.
We don't go and read it.
That's right.
I personally believe if I read it myself, then I will understand how does it fit into my life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So these are the 2 or 3, I would say, areas which I focus on, and I really enjoy reading these books.
Oh, absolutely. What are your 5 favorite books that you would like to name for the audience?
See, first book which I would recommend to anybody is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, absolutely. If they want to go into real estate, then that is the book.
If you really want to ask me 5 books, I would say read Rich Dad Poor Dad 5 times.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
The other one I liked about Steve Jobs as well.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I like his autobiography as well. His biography.
Okay.
One another book which I can mention, that was an autobiography of a yogi.
Autobiography of a Yogi, yes. I was recommended that book.
Yes.
I don't think I've read that, but yeah, I've heard it's a good book.
That's yes. And then I really am inspired by the whole story of Tesla as well.
Tesla? Oh yeah, Elon Musk. Right?
Yes, Elon Musk.
I've been reading that book.
That book is a powerhouse.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know what?
Right, absolutely.
At one point of time when I was reading that book, it really actually triggered my mind a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
And I got scared. I said, you know what? That's something next level.
Absolutely.
Right? Having that kind of craziness.
Oh, yeah.
Having that kind of boldness.
That passion.
Is absolutely out of the world.
Oh, yeah.
So, Elon Musk, I think, is a wonderful read as well.
Right. Oh, yeah. And that's 4 books. What's the 5th one?
5th one?
Yes.
Read Gita.
Gita? Okay.
Yes. That's very important.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'll tell you, there are various interpretations of Gita.
Right. I was
There
going to say
is a Gita which says Gita as is.
Gita as is. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is written by Prabhupada ji.
Okay.
That is also very amazing.
That's great.
And so I try to read various versions of it, but I think Gita is something which can actually give a direction to your life, can give you all the solutions to the problems,
Yes.
and actually can tell you how you should drive your life.
Right. It was relevant back then, it's
Yes.
relevant today, and it's relevant to all areas of your life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's not just like it teaches you business, it teaches you life, it teaches you, mental peace, and, everything, right? So I think, yeah, if anyone wants to read only one book, then that should be,
Yes, if somebody wants to read one book,
yeah,
then
right. Gita should
no
be-
second thought about
No
it.
second thought. On your road to success, there are many failures you encountered. So can you discuss some of the challenges or setbacks that you faced?
So, this failure is something very interesting word. I don't call it as a failure. I call that as an stepping stones of success.
Right.
People actually misinterpret failure in their life. They think failure is something very discouraging. Failure is something which push you back.
Right.
It is not like that.
Right.
Failure is the first stepping stone of success.
Absolutely.
Now you talked about failure. I fail every single day.
Every single day.
Till today, I fail on so many things. Let's say you plan to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you woke up at 5:30. You failed,
You failed.
right? Let's say you're planning to do some particular activity today
Right.
and somehow something came up. You couldn't do it. It's a failure. But what does that mean? You stop getting up next day morning?
No.
Just because you could not get up on time today? Will you not wake up tomorrow? It's the same thing. So if you failed in doing something, learn from it. This was not the way to do it. There's another way to do it. So I might have made so many of my decisions where I failed, right? So I designed some of the models for my team, for my business. It did not work out.
Tell us about some of your initial failures, like how many times you failed.
So I'll tell you, in my graduation, I failed in my first year.
Right. That was because I think you fell into bad company, right? For a brief period of time.
Absolutely.
That is why, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were good at that. Okay, you failed.
Then I failed in my love life.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So that was another failure. Then when I started my business, I actually wanted to build up this company with a little different perspective, but I could not do it. Right? I started my leather business. That was a failure. I couldn't succeed into that. Right? Then we started another business, which is more of we developed apps.
Okay.
We failed in that.
What year was that?
Oh, that was like a couple of years before. I would say 4 or 5 years before.
Okay.
Right? So those are some of the wonderful learnings. Right? All those failed businesses gave me a great insight about how to become successful in life.
Right. I think, you can put it this way, that failure is a teacher disguised as a wolf, right? It may look like, the wolf is coming to eat you, but deep inside, right, it's a teacher that's coming to teach you.
I would say it is the best teacher.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Whatever success I feel that I have achieved is because of the failures I've had in the past, right? Yeah.
And one of the biggest failure which I feel 3 or 4 years before, I actually designed a structure to build up SaveMax, and I tried to put up on that structure, but after 1.5 years, I thought I was not able to work on it, and it was a big failure at that time. But I came up with better alternatives to that.
Have you always been so positive about failure, or was there a point in time where you actually wanted to throw in the towel and call it quits?
That happens not very frequent in my life, but it happened a few times, when I was like, what, maybe I can't do it.
I can't do it.
But that was just for a moment.
Okay.
And I think the best ability which I had in me, I'm a self-starter guy.
Okay.
So many times, you get a lot of disappointments in life, but just one night is enough for me. I go sleep, every morning it's the new Raman.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Every morning I tell myself, you know what? I have to do it.
Is it so easy?
If you practice it well, it is very easy. That's very good. Yeah.
So, in one of your interviews, you said that when a new immigrant comes to Canada, they should observe Canada for 2 to 3 months, right? Now, George Eliot says, "No man can be wise on an empty stomach." So, when these immigrants come here, right, most of the people did not bring any money with them.
Right.
Okay, and they have to bring food to the table. They have family to look after. In that situation, on that empty stomach,
Right.
how can they go about observing Canada first before finding a job or a business?
See, the real fact is, people come with money. They don't spend that money. And that
Okay.
is somehow, the, the mindset of people is, whatever I brought from back home, I'm going to send it back home. Guys, that money belongs to you.
Right.
You want to make sure you keep a long-term objective in front of you and give yourself a little time. I have seen people landing into this country and they want to do the job next day.
Right. Right.
How are you going to understand the society? How are you going to understand how the economy of this country works? How the social structure is?
Right.
This is
right.
very important. So my strong recommendation to any new immigrant, bring some resources with you. Right? On an average, you can spend $4,000 to $5,000 a month at the max to start with, or even $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And that is why Canadian government says, bring $10,000.
Right.
That is the settlement funds.
Right.
You brought that funds to settle down into this country.
Right.
Why not to use it wisely?
I'm sorry, I beg to differ here because I know that I did not come with any money. I came with a loan and I knew that I had to pay it off. Now, there are a lot of people who could be in my situation who genuinely do not have the money to bring here to Canada. And I was one of those guys who landed here on a Saturday and was looking for work on Saturday. And it was a long weekend, so I could only go on Tuesday. So, what's your advice for those people? What should they do?
I understand, and I know there are a lot of people who get into that situation.
Right.
It's a catch 2022. So try to, if by chance that happens, my strong advice, make yourself uncomfortable. Right?
Right.
So what I used to do, I used to work on Saturday and Sunday, 12-hour shift. Right? And I used to use the weekends to go and explore the country. Right? You have 7 days.
Right.
But why you want to work like 80 hours to start with? You can live your life with the limited resources as well. Go to Gurdwara to eat food.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong in it.
True.
Right? You can save some money, but when you become financially stable, go and pay back to the Gurdwara so that it can help some other immigrant. Right? So there is always ways to do the things.
Absolutely.
But the problem is not that doing the job. The problem is people start running after money. Right? I have to work 60 hours, I have to work 90 hours.
Right.
And I have seen, they never get an opportunity to understand how this country works.
And moreover, I also feel that, in that rat race, your hunger gets satiated.
Absolutely.
Right? And the fire in the belly settles down.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to do anything.
You know what? I think that is one of the biggest reason for most of the people, they are not able to explore the opportunities in this country. Because you don't really have the time to explore.
Right.
So you are just getting into that job, job circle, and you will never ever be able to get out of it. I have seen a lot of people, they never wanted to go drive the truck. But they just started because somebody pushed them. Same thing happened to me. People told me, why don't you get a license for truck, license for taxi?
It's lucrative, right? So you start making $5,000-$10,000.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
And you become comfortable.
And become comfortable. But I said, you know what? I don't want to get that license.
Right.
They said, no, keep it. I said, why? I don't want to drive it. Why should I even keep it?
Right.
They said, maybe in your tough time, it will help you. I said, no, I will do something else in my tough time. So I was very determined to that.
That's right.
And so, I understand you are not coming with the money. Still, do the job for 20 hours, I would say. Right?
Just do enough to bring food to the table.
Just do enough to bring the food to the table.
Right. Yeah.
And the rest of the time, you should focus and you should explore. Because once you get into that circle, trust me, it would be impossible or very tough to get out of it.
Absolutely. So with the level of success you have, most people would get comfortable. Well, when people start earning $100,000, $200,000, $200,000 is quite a good in Canada, right?
Yeah.
You can live a decent life with that. So 200 to 250,000 makes most people comfortable. You're way past that. Why do you want to keep going?
So the most uncomfortable word in my life is comfort.
Okay.
So the moment I start getting comfortable, or the moment I feel like, you know what, I'm in a comfort zone, that makes me uncomfortable. And it is not about money. The success, the drive is not about money. The drive is about contributing towards people's life. How I can encourage and motivate youngsters. Give them a track, give them some direction. There are 8 billion people in the world. I have touched only few 100,000 or maybe a million. I still have the potential, or I still have the outreach to those 8 billion people, and that is what keeps driving me. And I take it as one by one, right? So one person at a time. Right? And that is what my real drive is. Okay. So the message is you have to find out your drive.
So money is not a motivation for you right now?
See, money is a motivation up to a level. At one point of time, money was a big motivation for me, but not anymore. Now my motivation is how can I build up a system which works for the generation? How can I contribute to other people's life? How can I spread the positivity? Think about it, there is so much negativity in the world. Just imagine, even if I keep working whole of my life, right? It's still not enough. So there is such a bigger goal in front of me. It's such a big mission in front of me, right? Which I have to accomplish. But I always enjoy small, little, short success, right? It is not that I want to change the whole world, not really, but I want to change the world of few people, right? Wherever I can reach in this limited span of time. So I want to make my life more meaningful.
Wow, great. And how are you doing that?
So I'm doing it various ways. I'm trying to get connected to youngsters through social media and start spreading positive messages. I see where the negativity is. I try to, bring the positive atmosphere over there. I try to create job for many people. Because I personally believe there is no better charity than creating a job.
Absolutely.
And my dream is to become the biggest employer in this country.
Wow.
So that I can contribute in those people's life. Right? I can bring food onto their table.
Absolutely.
I can help underprivileged kids, like healthcare, education, sports. These are 3 wonderful medium which we can touch other people's life. Right? Think about it. A youngster, it's very easy for them to get into the negative direction, get into the drugs. So I try to encourage them to go to sports. Right? So under Krisho Foundation, we adopt 100 kids every year, underprivileged kids, and help them for their recreational facility, for their sports equipment, right? So that we can bring them onto the mainstream.
That's a good cause that you're attached to. They say that there's no shortcut to success.
Right.
However, I disagree with that statement because I feel there is a shortcut, and that shortcut is called a mentor. Right? If you have a mentor can work as a helicopter. He can pick you up from one place and put you at another place in a very short period of time. Do you agree with this, that this is one shortcut to success?
Yes, in your sense, what you are saying, it definitely makes sense. But I still would not call it as a shortcut. Because, most of the people, for them, the shortcut is not working hard onto it. Even if you have a mentor can give you the direction. Mentor can help you to understand and overcome the challenges. Can give you the direction. But it is your hard work. It is your efforts which is going to create success for you. But yes, I call it as a catalyst. Mentor can act like a catalyst and expedite your success.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. Have you had mentors in your life?
Lots of them.
Okay.
Lots of them. My dad has been a great mentor for me.
Okay.
And I have a lot of my friends now who are like big industrialists. So I keep discussing. My team is my mentor.
Okay.
Sometimes I take mentorship from Krish, who is a 9-year-old kid, my son. Sometimes I take mentorship from my 2-year-old daughter. Because, they teach you how to be happy. Because that is also a mentorship.
Right.
Look at a kid.
Right.
I was talking to somebody a couple of days before, and they said, how come these kids are so energetic for whole day? I said, because they are so focused only on one thing. They just use their energy to stay happy.
To stay happy.
Whereas we have to use our energy on 100 things. What other people are thinking about me, what I have to eat, what I have to wear, what I have to do. And so we keep throwing our energy, or we keep wasting our energy in those things which really doesn't matter to us. Right? So that's the best mentorship which you get from kids.
Absolutely.
So anything or anybody can be your mentor. So one of my most favorite line, you need a mentor and you can be a mentor at the same time.
There are many reasons businesses fail in the first 6 months or 1 year. What do you think are the top 3 reasons why most businesses fail?
So the biggest reason what I think is, people have a tendency or habit to give up. They give up so early. Guys, if you got a failure, don't give up. Understand, learn from the failure and build upon it. Never ever give up. The second biggest reason what I see, people don't take chances in their life. It's very important, especially in the young age, to take your chance, to work on it. And third and most important thing which I see, people, they are fearful of success. They are afraid of success. Because success brings a lot of responsibility, a lot of challenges, a lot of things which you have to do to be successful. And I've seen people have a tendency, right? They are the biggest reason for their own failure. They will start putting if and but. So stay positive. Positivity can bring a lot of success in you. So if I have to describe these 3 reasons, very easy and very simple for us to understand.
Now, a lot of people watching this may be saying in their heads, Mr. Dua, it's easier said than done. Now that you have achieved success doesn't mean it's so easy to achieve, right? What do you mean by taking chances? Taking chances is not that easy, especially, in situations where someone is trying to become an entrepreneur and they have a job and they have to quit their job to spend time on becoming an entrepreneur, spend time on their business. So is it that easy to take chances? And how does one take chances?
It is absolutely that easy to take a chance.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Right.
Listen, I understand, and this is what the biggest challenge is. See, it is tough only until you don't make a decision. The moment you make a decision, it is one of the easiest thing for you to do. Right? And try it once. Try it once because I'm saying. Right? And so, taking chances in life is very, very important. But if somebody is stuck up on the job and they are thinking of becoming an entrepreneur and they are not able to make a decision to leave the job, then give up the dream of becoming an entrepreneur. That is not the right approach. And I always tell people, guys, comfort, right? Cool down, relax. All these are not the word for the entrepreneurs. Right? Then you're not meant to be entrepreneur. If you can't just even take a chance, don't even dream about it. So taking chance is very easy. Close your eyes, jump into it, and see how it is.
If values equal pillars, then what are the 4 pillars that your company stands on today?
So we actually created 6 or 7 pillars on which we built up our company. Of course, we think about clients being at the top and the client first. That's very, very important. Honesty, integrity, and trust is very, very important for us. And we always want to drive us with the technology, right? Because we are actually we are actually contributing in one of the biggest decision of life, buying and selling the real estate. So we need to be equipped. We need to equip ourselves with the latest tools as well. So we always, drive ourselves with some good technology as well. On top of it, we built up two very strong pillars when we started our company. The first was a special respect for females in our office. Second, we never allow drinks in our office.
Wow. So how do you make a decision about choosing a team member? Do you think anyone and everyone can be a successful realtor? Do you take anyone on board, or are you picky about choosing your agents?
I am very picky. I personally am very picky.
So what are the traits that you're looking for?
So there are two big things which I look in any person when I have to hire them. First of all, I look at the positive vibes. If I am not getting positive vibes from somebody, I don't like doing business with them. Very, very important. And second is integrity. Integrity comes into your blood. Right? I cannot teach that. I can teach you any skill. I can teach you, I can guide you how to work. But integrity comes from within you. So these are the two most important criteria.
How do you gauge integrity by talking to someone for 15 minutes or 30 minutes?
It becomes very challenging. It takes little time to understand, to know more about a person. But I always went with my gut. And as I said, somehow I get the positive and negative vibes very fast. If I get a negative vibe with somebody, I don't spend more than 30 seconds.
Of course. If everything you have today was taken away from you, how long do you think it will take you to come back to the same position?
That's a very good question. Maybe a few months.
Few months?
Of course.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I'll tell you why. I have lots of experience now.
Of course. Right.
Right. So,
right.
and it's not about if everything is taken back from you, but I will be happy in any moment. So it doesn't really matter. Either you have something or you don't have anything.
Right.
So I always tell people, I'm contented, but I'm hungry. So happiness is the most important thing.
Good point. All right. So in the bag of skill set that you have, which of the skills do you think has contributed the most to your success in the real estate industry?
So I think I was always good talking to people.
Okay.
So that really worked very well for me, and I was quite confident, in public speaking, during my MBA days. And I always been complimented for my smiling face, and I think that was the killer.
Right. Okay. That helped you a lot, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So so wearing a smile all the time, being able to talk to anyone, right? These are the two skills, or are there more skills to becoming a successful real estate agent?
So I think it doesn't really matter, even if you are a hard worker or even if you're good on communication, you just need to possess one skill extraordinary to become successful in real estate.
Okay.
Right? I have seen people, I call them the worst salespeople.
Okay.
But you know what? They have complemented it through their hard work. So so my firm belief is, if you have one good quality, if you have one good skill, that is more than enough to be successful in any field.
Okay. That's a very good point, right? You don't have to have all the skill sets.
There you go.
Right? You should have one thing that you should be great at.
You should be great at, absolutely.
What role has innovation played in your success, and how do you stay ahead of the curve and consistently find new ways to thrive in your industry?
So I personally believe you as a person should be very innovative in your own ideas. So I was always keep pushing myself to my limits, and keep thinking about new things. And you know what? Communicate with people. Talk to them about their ideas. Talk to them what way they are thinking. So it happened with me lots of time, if I'm communicating or talking to a group or, my team members, and, they were actually throwing a lot of ideas on me.
Okay.
So I go back home, think about those ideas, and restructure them, or I would say package them nicely and present it back to them. And, they were like, oh, this is the idea I was talking a couple of days before. I said, yes, but we need to implement it. So I personally believe I have been very innovative in my ideology. I have been very innovative in my marketing, right? And I personally believe you need to be innovative to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
Right? It is the innovation is not about technology. The innovation is about your ideas, about your thought process, right?
Right.
And I think if you know how to market yourself, that's the best.
Absolutely. How do you handle competition and stay ahead in a rapidly changing business landscape?
So I have a different ideology as far as the competition is concerned. I never try to compete with competition. You know, if I analyze competition, just I want to keep myself updated. So my target was always like I used to compete with myself. I used to compete with my yesterday's performance. So what I have done in 2021, I have to be better in 2022. So I don't see competition as a competition. I see that as a tool of knowledge for me. Like, you know, what innovativeness, what new things the competition is doing. To understand, you know, where the market is leading to. Right? And I have to make myself better. That's very important.
True. So you see what your competition is doing and do it in a better way.
Of course. Yeah. Or do something new. Do something which nobody else is doing. And you know, about the good idea or bad idea, you know, there were days like, you know, in my starting days, and I was like very excited about my ideas. Like, you know, I always behave like a kid when I get a new idea. So I used to think about it, you know, what new can be done and how we should do the things. And I was very excited. I used to come back and, you know, talk to a couple of my colleagues, to some of the like friends and family members, and they always used to bring me down. You bring an idea with a lot of excitement and they bring you down.
Right, okay.
Now, even if I take an stupid idea, everybody gets excited.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. You have a tag of success on you now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that tag of success makes so many things acceptable.
Absolutely.
Right?
So networking is crucial in the real estate business. How did you build and nurture your professional network to drive the success that you have?
It's not only the real estate. In any sphere of life, networking is very, very important. So, at the right time, at the right place, with the right people, can bring you or can bring your success to a different level. So I understood the importance of networking in my early days. So what my way was, I used to invite people at my place for dinner. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there's somebody at my place for the dinner.
And who were these people? Your friends and relatives, or
Even strangers.
really?
Trust me, like, you know, let's say I met somebody, you know, and we had a good conversation about any business or anything, you know, I used to invite them at my place. So, if you want to build up networking, try to create an informal atmosphere. Try to give them access to your personal space.
Right.
And you know, that will bring you a new friend. And you know, I think that networking is very, very important. And I like, you know, I do this even today, right? Then you can become part of some professional organizations. You can become part of some clubs.
Okay.
Right? That is very, very important. And you know, go to seminars, go to sessions where there are, like, you know, other professionals they are meeting, and you know, you can definitely expand your network, share the ideas, understand how they are running their business, because you know, the problem of the businesses are same. Right? Sure. Either it is the problem related to financing, or it is the problem related to marketing, a problem related to HR. Every business has the same challenges.
Absolutely.
Right? So you can learn a lot from each other. And then I used to have lunch meetings with lot of business owners.
Okay.
You know, they are not in the same business, in different business, but we used to talk for hours. Okay, what kind of problems you are facing in your business? Like, you know, how your manpower is behaving, right? How are you managing to grow your business to the next level? How you are maintaining your PR?
So those lunch meetings were just for the sake of learning from their experiences?
Both. It was just like kind of, you are having fun as well, and you're talking about business, you're talking about challenges as well, right? So this is the real networking.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, talking about real estate, could you discuss your approach to evaluating potential investment properties? What factors do you consider before recommending a property to a client or deciding to invest yourself?
So I always look for one unique feature in the property, which I can sell, right? That's very, very important. Something very unique. Let's say a house has a beautiful kitchen,
Okay.
right? Which is good enough to sell the whole house, because you're not going to get 100% perfect house. Now, as far as the investments are concerned, I always work on numbers, because number never lies, right? And of course, you have to add a little bit risk factor to it. But my best approach to investment was I always love to invest where nobody is investing, right? That is important. You have to go against the like.
The wins.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to do which nobody else is doing. When people are buying, sell it. When people are selling, buy it. Right? If you simply use that approach, you're gonna be ahead of others, because you are simply just going against the wind. That one factor can create success for you. And if you have strong calculations on top of it, that really adds more power to it, right? And then, as I said, your gut.
Right.
That also gives you a lot of success in your life, as far as the investment is concerned.
What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs or realtors looking to achieve financial success based on your own experience?
Start from somewhere. That is my first advice. Don't just keep thinking. You have to take your chance. And another thing is, always come up with innovative ideas. Try to identify what is the problem in your field, and bring the solutions to that. Because if you are bringing solution to people, they're definitely going to come and buy your product or service. And as far as the real estate profession is concerned, my strong recommendation, look for a strong platform where you can learn your business. Because if you learn it right, you're going to earn it right.